Hello everybody and welcome to the channel. My name is Bancroft and this is Uninformed. Terraria is a sandbox game where you can fight, mine and build. The difficulty of Terraria can be adjusted to suit your skill level accordingly, most famous method being the modes, from easiest being journey mode to hardest being master mode. I'm on journey, but it's not all fun and games for me though, as I'm playing on the floor of the worthy seed. This is an Easter egg that drastically modifies your world. Enemies deal twice as much as damage, generation is whack, and vibes of strong enemies are far more common, like deserts and jungles. I named my world Oh No, as I was going in knowing nothing about Furtherworthy. I played through Terraria once on normal a year ago, but nothing else, so I'm going in semi-blind, not truly blind. The first signs that you have done this Easter egg correctly is if the tips on the loading screen are backwards, and as you can see they are backwards, so I have done this correctly. Here we go! Before we start, I spent a lot of time making this video, so if you could please subscribe, that would be well appreciated. Your sub means a lot to me and would really make my day. 1. The world loaded in, so I jumped into it. I was surprised to see the demolitions there instead of the guide, but no matter, I started chopping down trees as usual. Not too long after, I encountered my first Furtherworthy exclusive drop, the Red Potion. The Red Potion gives you free random buffs every time you drink it, however it's only available to players playing on Furtherworthy. In this case, it gave me a bunch of mining buffs. It took me a few seconds of realization, but I instantly got mining, and found a few ores. I found a spear, which is very useful early game. I then did some more mining before realizing that oh fuck, I was homeless. I needed to make a base, and quick. I then fashioned together a house, and while I was duplicating an ore I found, I got killed by a zombie, which had done an absurd amount of damage. And crafted some tin armor, which would increase my survivability, albeit by a small margin, but still, I was pretty happy with what I got, as the armor is armor nonetheless. Soon after, I got my hands on a massive zombie arm. This is a surprise, albeit a welcome one, as it increased my average damage output. Day 2. While I was out exploring, the merchant came to my house. Must have been from all the money I got from killing zombies. Oh yeah, snow biome, cool. Not too long after entering the snow biome, I encountered the desert. Talk about contrasting temperatures. I then encountered my first antlion. Antlions are remarkably dangerous, but I was on journey mode, so things were pretty easy. I then dodged his bullet like a pro, because I then encountered the world's evil, the corruption. This would come on to be very useful, as they will present us with demon altars, which trust me, are become very relevant later on into our playthrough. However, the welcoming party was a bit touchy. I'd say the reception was good, but yeah, I feel like they were too expressive with their thoughts and feelings. I then found a dungeon, which when you defeat the boss associated with it and can go in, it will grant you a lot of loot, and trust me, it's worth your while. But oh my god, how am I gonna build an arena for the boss? This is Boris trying. It was so hard to screw me over. I then encountered something that was supposed to be water but was lava. This was one of the features of Furtherworthy. I then went to the calm seaside, and then also encountered a sleeping angler. I will not be doing any of his quests though. I retreated to my base to add another level to it. I assembled NPCs waiting to move in after all. I then committed my tax fraud by unlocking the ability to duplicate coins. I then went bug catching with a bug net I bought from the merchant. Pretty relaxing if you ask me. Day 3 starts with death. Moving on. Aside from the early death, day 3 was actually a pretty relaxing day. It was relatively uneventful until I caught an arcane shackle from a zombie kill. Day 4 starts off with an explosive arrival from the demolitionist. And you guessed it, another death. I then proceeded to buy a stack of grenades and also a really big amount of dynamite from the demolitionist. If you don't know what this is for, this is gonna come very useful later on in game. I was about to head off again when a certain zoologist came. I don't know how to trigger this NPC, so curious, I went to check her out. I then bought the squirrel hook as well as the cat license, which I have no idea what did, and when I used it, it put on them ominous text. Turns out it wasn't a boss summon, it was just an NPC summon. Remy the cat had arrived, and he actually looks kind of cute. I then decided to finish off the day with some sterile building. Building always calms my nerves, so this was always fun. Day 5 and 6 were relatively eventful, so I'm putting them together. I got down to the corruption chasms with a bunch of lenses. I then got to crafting. I crafted a suspicious looking eye, which would summon the first boss I would go on to beat in this 10 days of survival. I then decided to smash some orbs, hoping to get a gun to get an NPC to spawn, but I also got blown up. And it dropped a murderous musket. This would spawn an NPC, which I would definitely need and would definitely come helpful later on in the playthrough. This is the arms dealer. He sells a bunch of guns, ammo, and miniguns. The first thing I wanted to get from him was a mini shark, which is the most powerful pre-hard mode weapon, which is the most powerful gun we'll get in a really long time. It can also be upgraded into something much more powerful later on into the game, so getting this was more of a double use. But I had to duplicate my money to get it, which was a bit of a scummy thing, but hey, I'm gonna be abusing this duplicating thing a lot, so if you don't like it, just leave. Just randomly decided to expand my arena before heading to the sea to fish. My plan was to fish for fishing crates as they had good loot in them and would come very useful in the later game. I know the fishing crate shot doesn't work anymore, but hey, it still drops loot, and loot is all I need. And I went on to fish until I got a Reaver Shark, which is a very powerful pickaxe despite it being nerfed. It can mine Demonite, but it cannot mine Ebonstone. But Demonite, up to Demonite is really all I needed. I continued to fish until I received a Sawtooth Shark. The Sawtooth Shark was a chainsaw. I haven't used this weapon and I don't know a lot about it, but I've heard rumors that it was pretty good at the stages that I was in, so I was pretty happy. I then decided to go down to the bottom of the ocean where I would find normally chests, and I opened the chest, but in a panic died and left something very valuable inside. My lens. I needed my lens to craft one last suspicious looking eye so that I could combine all three of those eyes to be able to duplicate them, which would make farming the Eye of Cthulhu basically effortless. The next 5 to 10 minutes was literally me going on a mini crusade back to the sea so that I was able to get back my lenses. However, at the end of the day, luck was in my favor and I was able to get my lens back from the ocean. In a stroke of pure luck, I also managed to get a wooden crate. This is exactly what I was looking for. I then opened it and I got sailfish boots. These would help me with mobility and also boss fighting, as these are an extremely useful asset when fighting most bosses. I then dived heroically into the sea while shooting a shark to get back my precious lens, which were in those blue chests, which I ran past. Excuse my foolishness, but in the end of the day I got them back, as I said. After shooting the shark, of course. You see, my lens. Oh, is that a shark hike? That's one of the best things I've ever seen in my life. Moving on. I then died to a zombie because I wasn't watching where I was going. But then realizing it was night, I went to talk to the arms dealer, and there it was, illegal gun parts. These might not be very useful right now, but then eventually when I get to hard mode, those along with a few souls will allow me to craft my mini shark into a mega shark, which is extremely useful up to a certain plant boss. I was going to the jungle, but then my mother was calling me, so I got his chest and returned home. Day 7 started off with a life heart. I wasn't recording when I got it though, because space was becoming an issue at this point. And keep in mind, this is all happening on the phone. Death to all! I then died while camping here. I'm serious, I'm really scared of the Terraria spiders here for no good reason. I'm just good at dealing real life spiders, but Terraria spiders, I'm just like legit petrified. You have to believe me, guys. Then went to build to take my mind off my arachnophobia. The next minute or so is gonna be just me building, so enjoy it. It's at 4 times speed, so I can't really speed it up anymore. Then while I was out and about, I got a zombie banner. Cool. And you guessed it, another death. Damn, I think I might be getting over my head here. Never mind. I decided to go down and fish for no good reason. I don't know why, it just seemed like a good idea and it seemed relaxing. Yeah, didn't really get anything out of it though. And as day 7 was going on and day 8 was entering in, I went down to the corruption to then craft my final suspicious looking eye. The day has come. I was going to kill the Eye of Cthulhu on day 8. And oh god damn it, did it happen. Day 8 started with a painter arriving to my house as well as me decorating the cabinets with my blood. I then went on to duplicate my suspicious looking eye to be able to summon the Eye of Cthulhu infinitely as long as it was nighttime. I then decided to do some building, and this would be the last attachments to my base building for now, like the building you see. As I waited in my arena for nightfall to overcome me, I thought about my journey up to this point. All of the deaths, all of the enemies, all of the experiences, and not really a lot of emotions, but you get me, I'm trying to be poetic here. And as the darkness began to overrule the sunlight, as the eyes of the darkness began to open to watch me, watch my every move, and watch my every mistake, I summoned the eye. Now this is a post commentary, but I really did not know what to expect, so I was slightly stressed off by the eye because I didn't know if it's gonna do the dashing thing. It doesn't export and master mode because it was for the worthy. I mean, if it was normal journey, I don't think it would have done that. But then keep in mind, this seed is for the worthies, and the AI has been changed. So I was getting a bit stressed that it might just start dashing me, and from the movements here, I was starting to get a bit paranoid. But then I fought the eye several times before. One with a range build and the other with a melee build. I primarily use melee because all the times I fought it with a melee build, I was lucky enough to get an enchanted sword which shoots a projectile, and all I needed to do was spam it at the eye. But other than that, this was pretty much the same because I had ranged weapons either way. As you can see, I was doing most of the damage with the mini shark, as the mini shark would basically two-shot any of the minions that the Eye of Cthulhu would shoot out. And during a second phase, I increased my evasiveness because I was scared that the eye was going to do like 80 damage per hit. But then again, this is journey mode, so I don't think they're going to go that hard. But I was still precautious about taking damage. But yeah, the second the eyes have started getting into the red, I knew it was over, and it was over. I then proceeded to kill the eye again, and then again because I needed to be able to duplicate the Demonite ore in order to make infinite Demonite ore, because that would have been very useful. I will do the same with Hellstone if I get to that point, but other than that, this is going to give me a huge advantage. As you can see, I'm duplicating the Demonite and I'm crafting the weapons out of it. This was a massive upgrade to my arsenal, as my damage increased by 150% or by like 1.5 to 2, which is really powerful if you didn't know, for Terraria standard. What was this, day 9? I was thinking of fighting the Eater of Worlds, but then this one wasn't having it, so that wasn't happening. I then went to check out the Dryad, which you unlock after beating one boss, and my world is 5% corrupt, and I went out to check her drops, which aren't really too good at this stage in the game. On my way to the corruption, I saw this lantern light, which I don't know how it's triggered, but I took some time to admire it anyway. It was really beautiful. It's calming as well. Well, in the corruption, Eater of Worlds dropped Ancient Shadow Groups, which is really poggers because they were an upgrade. 10, I got another life heart, but at the same time I wasn't recording because at this point I had to shut down my game in order to free up space to be able to record this again. So yeah, I just built where I found it, and I also don't know how I missed it, but hard is hard. Then made the wise decision to summon the Eater of Worlds, not to defeat it, but more to gauge its ability to kill me and how hard it would be to kill. Menacing Shadow Orb, you see, menacing. I then summoned the Eater of Worlds, but very stupidly decided to try to go to the surface to face it. This was different from my normal strat, as I would just stay in the cave and fight it with like an enchanted sword or whatever weapon I had at hand. That eventually led to my death. Well, nothing I can really do about it now. I decided to build until day 10 ended, and I would eventually need to do an overview of my whole 10 days on this world that has tormented me so much. Well, I'd say my 10 days in this wacky seed were really fun in general. I mean, I died a lot of times, but that's just part of the package when you're playing Terraria at such a seed, even if it's at journey mode. I'll probably be back. I mean, if this gets enough reception, I'll probably do another 10 days. I don't want to do 100 days because that might be a bit too long, and I want to get it out like piece by piece. So, I did achieve my target though. My target for the end of this 10 days was not to be the boss. It wasn't anything special. It was, if I were to stay here for the rest of my life with the same stats as my Terraria character, would I be happy? Frankly, yeah, I'll probably become friends with NPCs, but I feel really satisfied with the base that I built up from the ground, and I couldn't really ask for a better base. And there you have it. This is my first 10 days experiencing the further worthy seed on the easiest mode in Terraria. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please leave a like and subscribe if you're new. Either way, I'm fine. I don't really care if you subscribe or not, but it'll be well appreciated. I So in the first 10 days of my Terraria playthrough, I beat a boss and several NPCs moved into my house. This is me signing off, and I'll see you in the next one.